Okay, so now it is nearly 11 p.m. And because I have to do the essay at school, so it's gonna much more time for me to deal with it, and I feel like I'm so exhausted for now. So now I'm not gonna do the 30 minute speaking because I don't have time because I have to sleep and be prepared um, for tomorrow to do the essay because didn't finish. I haven't. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't finished it yet. So, okay. So just do the 10 minute speaking for today. Okay. So let's start it. You know the saying, you just gotta try your best. It would say, if you got to be the best. Is being top 20% of your class would be good enough for you? No. With one something, you got to get it after it, and then you start producing good results and you build confidence along the way. Just but the chase, and I study techniques that I the square, but as a medical student that they help me into medicine and I use this on a daily basis. Half them focus on article study techniques and other half focus on study mentality, which is as important. Let's start with the first one. First, you're gonna study from the studiable raw materials hours. So let's say the parts represents all information that represents to you and it starts in the middle. It is studiable material. Someone who does know bottom covering every single little detail, and when the exam comes, they haven't covered like 20% to 20 to 30% of what is testable, whereas someone know how to study to start from the middle, you study from the core materials, that is testable in 3 hours, and then the exam comes. Although they haven't finished study anything, they study what is important and what is testable. I know we want to do the best student as possible. I want to be the best doctor as possible. So when studying, we have this tendency to try to learn everything. But we have to make this mindset shift from focusing on those long-term goals to short-term goals, and those short-term goals when you're taking courses and get grades in every midterm and every exam that is presented before and you, and then long-term goals will take care of themselves. So how you do with the board? Now there are 3 ways we can let you. First thing is we look for practice test or reverse test. Sometimes the lecturers give you couple of questions at the end of the lecture or to go over on, pay attention to those. And I also looked online and undergrad to figure out if there were any practice tests lying around. I asked seniors if they have taken the course and if they had any practice material. I asked my friend who was also taking the course, you to use your resources to figure out if there are any additional study materials that you can use. You have to think like a seminar. Now, learners, when you're going to over the material again, imagine in your mind, how can I test this multiple choice format? How can I test this short answer format? And then try to learn that way. Number 2 on the list is to write good conscious notes and then plan out your timing for all midterms and then all your exams. And then constantly evaluate your studying and you are not falling behind. For example, let's say you're taking 5 courses and before a midterm you have to go to over 10 topics per course, and then each lecture has 3 slides. That totals up to 25,000 slides that you have to go over before midterm. So you have three good sources now to summarize everything that makes it manageable for you to go over materials before you write the midterm so that you are not overloaded. Try to write more notes as close as possible containing keywords and important information. You know that if you don't remember something from your note, you have PowerPoint slides you can always fall back on. So on the list is to use active recall when learning. I made a video on this previously that you can watch, but let me expand on that further here. Let's start off by giving you examples of students who don't know how to study, so that when they present it with an information like microelectronics is a powerhouse of the course what they do without thinking, they just write, nothing's coming into the brains. So what I do when I'm going over my notes is what I create information, write only the keywords And then I'm supposed to looking at the notes, even look at a keyword. For example, estimate mitochondria and another thing. Mitochondria is part of powerhouse of cell. What is powerhouse of cell? And then I try to supplement information from lecture is power of a cell because it produces a big ATP. So I'm using all my senses, when that which is tactical motion. I'm saying things and which is verbal. I'm looking at my notes. Previously, I'm using my visual cues, and I'm saying I'm listening to. I'm also using also your authority in sense. And more often you after recalling, you cannot remember information, and that is okay because studies have shown that just by attempting to recall, you are just creating a connection between the information and your memory. Number four is I cannot emphasize this enough. Reviewing is just as important as learning new information. So if we have 20 lectures to go over before midterm, for example, as opposed to go over 20 and go back to 1 over 20, what do is go 1 to 5 and then review 1 to 5 quickly and then move on to 6 to 10. And then once I'm done 6 to 10, even more quickly, I go over 1 to 5 and then I look over 6 to 10 and then I go into 11 to 15. Obviously, you take the time to do this correctly before midterm so that you actually cover everything. Now, five mentality think. You have to study hard for your midterms and your final exams. You know, obviously study hard for your final exam, but you have to study harder for your midterms because that tests the tone for the entire course. Let's get a bad mark on the midterm, then the entire course is just a catch-up game. You're worrying on whole time for probably 2 3 months, worrying about whether you're going to get a good enough final mark so that you can make up for getting a bad mark on your midterms. Number 16, having a strong mindset toward the school year. I'm gonna come across a little harsh here, but they're saying you're still gonna try your best. I would say, peep that you're gonna be the best. Is your best really the top 1% of your class? Is your best top 5% of your class? If the program that you want to get into in the end has less than 10% acceptance rate, it's being top 20% of your class is good enough for you. No, so if you want something, you got to get after it. And you start producing good results and you build confidence along the way. Number seven is putting the work in and work out, everyone. We kind of contradict people in this video because this is study technique video, but compared to someone who knows only study techniques but doesn't work hard, someone who doesn't know any of these techniques and just putting the hours in studying and getting information into the brain is always going to be better person with better study techniques. I was the brightest guy in my class, so whatever it is where I just literally outworked everyone. I walked into the library before everyone else, and I walked out of the library after everyone else. And I spent my time sitting on Friday nights, Saturday nights when everyone was going out partying, and it was a student that was living in the library at the same time. Last night, and a cardiac jury student at you of a sort of thing that happens to you. Just have to outwork what you really want to be successful. By instigating a sort of study, partners and friends who want to balance at you, but you think it's going to be hard to find them. If you start studying late nights at the library all the time, you tend to come across these guys. It's hard to come early morning and leaving late at night. Coming in our weekends, I had a group of friends who was really study with me and then we disrupt each other. When we pretty was time study, we did interact each other, and when the business were taken care of, we can went out and had fun. Number nine, staying consistent and saying on top of everything, especially in medicine, where these million things going on. If I start lose track of things, I get super stressed. So you have to be on top of every email, have to be on top of every assessment and all the work I have to do. In a grad, you're dealing with 5 courses plus your extracurricular course and everything going on. So to say only something that you're wrong far behind. So to make an example, consistency and why is it important? We have student A and student B. Student A is working Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, 12 hours. Each student B decides to work on Friday, but decides to start Saturday, Sunday out. And student B have fallen behind student A by 24 hours. So no matter how hard he tries, the next Monday staying for 40 hours as opposed to 12 hours, on Tuesday 16 hours, The guys always playing catch up game today, and when you on a curve in university and undergrad, you just going to be, not be able to compete against the night. Number 10 is effectively controlling your study and your worry when you're going through school. There are two types of worries. Whereas when someone joins certain church, they worry about studying. The solution is that simple. You're just gonna study. Number two, the second type of worry is someone who worries despite having done all the studies. And when you're in a position, you need to write down what you're worried about. So not book on an iPad or whatever. You're worrying because you are not seeing what you worry about. So the very halfway in the middle where that you what you want, what you can control and what you cannot control. And something like what you can control is working up early, going to the library and studying X for big amount of hours and staying focused when you're studying. What you cannot control is actual grades I'm going to get from this course. So I'm worried, or I'm going to get a B, I'm going to get a B plus, I'm going to get A minus, A plus. You cannot control that. Just focus on what you can control, and you just have to give up what you cannot control. Okay, so I'm done with this video, and if you really sleepy for now, I think I'm gonna go to bed after I turn on this video. Okay, that is good. Okay, so that okay. Oh, I forgot that. Then I have to speak slowly. I have to speak slowly. Okay, so let's start again. Okay, so I've done this video, and I think that I'm pretty sleepy for now. I think that I'm gonna go. I think that I'm gonna go to bed and have a nice sleep. Actually, it is just 6 hours, or maybe 5 hours. 5 hours and about 40 minutes. Yeah, that is a pretty good stuff things for me to do, especially for now. Okay, so have a good day, guys. And a message and a message to myself in the future that never give up. You can achieve the thing that you want. Okay, so